me. It's just gonna be there sticking up. It's just gonna be there sticking up. Alright, whatever. Hello. Hello. Good morning. How are we doing today? Wait, that was a bad one. Let me do that again. Good morning. Hello. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Patience. I am... The heck was that?
Good morrow.
Oh, shoot. King of Swords just fell out. The truth. Oh, and Spirit said good morrow. Good morning. Good morrow. Something about the truth coming out. Something about the truth. King of Swords. Structure, routine, intelligent, rational. Balanced judgments, gives excellent advice. Head over heart, discerning. Detached, unemotional, man of authority. Who makes balanced judgments and gives excellent advice. Logical, rational, intelligent. Yeah, that just fell on the floor. Truth. So I don't know. Spirit wants to talk about something today. So thank you so much for being here. My name is Patience. I am a spirit medium, host of Spirit News on all major platforms. If you are on your ascension journey and you're awakening at this time, you're being activated with your spiritual gifts, and you're moving from the head to the heart, we have documented all of our own ascension process and spirit nuggets that Spirit has given us for our own journey, not for you to do it like us, but for you to know that you're not alone and that we're going through it too, and we're in relationship with our spirit team daily, rebirthing daily, clearing, spiritual hygiene, doing all the things that Spirit taught us in order to maintain Christ consciousness or heart consciousness or whatever you want to call it, and to be matching divine energy. So we're here showing you what it looks like for us. It's different for everybody. Everybody has their own gifts. There's somebody really upset. They just said, go fuck yourself. Steven. Okay, so Spirit has been guiding me to come on more. I've had, in the past, I was not at a place energetically to withstand a lot of spiritual attacks, but as I get stronger and I start learning and I start believing in myself and being more confident, having more Godfidence, I start to, and being more protected, I guess, and it starts allowing me to not be affected so much by the energy. So I've been coming on more, and we're gonna come on today. Okay, we post every weekend for you guys. Every weekend we do spiritual development here on the YouTube channel, and then we document spirit nuggets and guided messages on our TikTok. If you want to follow any of our socials, you can go to the link tree, link through the bio or through the description bar, whichever you want. And we're happy to have you. So thank you so much for all of our supporters. We love you so much. We are so grateful to be attracting our soul tribe at this time. It's really beautiful. It's quite miraculous the way God is unfolding everything and revealing everything. Life is beautiful, you guys. Life is beautiful. It's a blessing to be alive. I'm happy to be here. So let's get into it. Okay? Healing. Oh, Spirit wants to do some healing today. Oh, my eye's really itchy. My eye just got really itchy. Someone doesn't want something to be seen or known. Someone doesn't want the truth to come out about a King of Swords, or there's a King of Swords who's going to reveal truth. Vernon? Someone named Vernon? Okay. Where should we go? I actually, Randy, I actually got these. I have the Disney I Found It, which I love. But there was new ones. I went to the store yesterday to get some Pokemon cards with my boy. And there were all these, oh my freaking eye. There were all these men standing in line waiting for the new Pokemon cards, and we waited in line for like 20 minutes. And I was like, I just don't think it's gonna happen today, honey, because I had to go home and make dinner and stuff. But I found these, and I think they're pretty cool. They have random pictures on them, so we'll see what happens. This is an experiment. I don't know if anything will come out or if I'll be able to read it, but Spirit never leads me astray, so we'll see. I'm just gonna give them a good shuffle. How's everyone doing today? Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
I'm an angel.
I'm an angel. Oh, someone's an angel. Someone could be an earth angel. Some kind of truth coming out about an earth angel. Someone wants to have a conversation. Someone's being logical and making some kind of decision not based on emotion, but based on evidence. Someone who's intelligent and rational, who's sound mind. Could be a Libra. They want to have a conversation. What do they want to talk about? Libras are fair, sincere, restless, objective, indecisive. Rules the 7th house of reflection, assessment, and knowledge. That sounds like a King of Swords. What do they want to talk about? They want to talk about a snake. Oh, I'm getting King Arthur vibes. Look at this. There's a sword in the stone.
You are appreciated.
Oh, thank you, Spirit. There's Cinderella vibes as well. There's someone about, jeez, what the heck? Yeah, Spirit said, I am an angel. So this is about an earth angel. About someone who targeted an earth angel. Someone who may have... I see a unicorn, a sword in the stone, the pumpkin from Cinderella. Someone who is treated like Cinderella, perhaps by 3 people. 3 little piggies. 3 little piggies that were singing the same tune, that ate some kind of apple, ate the apple. Manifesting. That manifested or wanted to manifest something that was snake-like, that was not renewable, like a butterfly renews itself or rebirths itself. You see that snake in the corner looking at the unicorn and the carriage. The unicorn could signify spirit protection. The sword in the stone represents royalty, honesty, morality, honor. And then the pumpkin reveals the Cinderella vibe. So being outcasted, being some kind of thier, some kind of judgment. Cinderella's father was like a king of swords. Cinderella's father is like a king of swords, someone that is strong and was an authority figure, was intelligent, and she wasn't treated like she was in the story until he passed away. So there's something about being mistreated. Confirmation. What else?
I killed people.
I killed people. I don't know what that's about. It doesn't have to mean literal. Spirit language can be metaphorical or symbolic. It's not always literal, and it's not always in the physical realm. Sometimes Spirit gives you the scenario of how it's happening in the spirit realm, and in the spirit realm it can be a lot more. It can be a lot more theatrical. It can be a lot more dramatic, almost like movie-like. Okay, but then when it comes down to physicality, it might be a lie or gossip or things like that, stealing. things like that. A dragon. Oh, look at this little cutie dragon. Look at that little cutie. And I got another sword. I got 2 swords. Let me see. A diamond in the rough. Someone who is overlooked. Someone didn't see you the way you actually are. Look at this. I'm listening as I rest. Oh, love you, Marie. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Yes. Let my voice relax your mind.
I was stationed here.
I was stationed here. It's just possibly someone in the armed forces or some kind of armed force, army or something, or military. I see this pot of gold on a rainbow, but it's being hidden by this barrier. So there's something that was hidden from them, something that they didn't see about you, that you were some kind of diamond in the rough. You were some kind of jewel that has a lot of willpower, has a lot of creativity. I also see a broom by this dragon. Someone may have painted you out to be like some kind of dragon, some kind of monster, some kind of false rainbow. They may have said that you're like a dragon. You're like a fire-breathing dragon. But look how innocent this dragon is. And they're looking up to the fairy with a rose in their mouth. So they might be a dragon when they have to be, but they definitely, are soft and gentle and kind. So there's something about you having to show your dragon side to someone.
We are watching you.
You may be divinely protected. That may be why this pot of gold is covered by this light. There's something that either, I want to say that spirit was hiding you from, like hiding you in plain sight, I want to say. Hiding you in plain sight. Yeah. We'll get some clarifiers in a second, but just want to continue. I'll get one more of these cards. Can I have one more, please? I'll let it fall out. Oh, okay. Okie dokie. You may have been, because of this hiding in plain sight and you being casted out like some kind of monster or some kind of fire-breathing dragon. You may have been casted out. You're left out of a lot of things, and you may have looked onwards, wondering, what was happening, why you were being left out, why you felt isolated. There were people,
Poltergeist.
going to Spirit just said poltergeist. People having fun on your behalf, possibly even mocking you, turning their backs on you, not asking you if you're all right. It's as if people switched on you very suddenly and turned their backs on you and didn't even think twice about it. And you were just overlooking everyone, like seeing that no one was minding you and kind of just accepting it that way, not really, because it's like, when you don't know why something happens, you're somebody that you don't want to jump to conclusions, because this is a frog. You didn't want to jump to conclusions. You're also on the bridge that's equivalent to this Buddha energy, so you could be very peaceful. You don't spread gossip. You don't listen to gossip. You don't, when someone comes with gossip to you, you don't run with it. You just you walk away, or you just look the other way, or you don't participate. But these people do, and so they may have felt like, oh, there's also a frog here. There's also a frog here. Yeah, so you were hidden. You were hidden in plain sight. There's something that Spirit wanted to be hidden from these people so something could play out before they saw your value and your worth. So I don't know what that is yet. I don't know why yet, but it feels like a necessary evil had to take place for something else to happen. And I'm not really sure what that is yet. But it involves a snake, it involves forbidden fruit or temptation, it involves the same old song, people doing perpetual emotional behaviors that they do all the time unconsciously, and they're definitely applying this judgment. It could be something about judgment.
Conjure.
Conjure. Spirit said conjure. Okay. Let's get some clarification. We'll do the stickers. Let's do the stickers. So, what's going on here? Let me prop these up. Yeah, definitely like a Cinderella vibe. You know, the maybe step sisters, step siblings, or maybe siblings, a family. Okay. Circle. Oh, that's so funny because look, I have the circle pond that's like cut off, this rainbow that's like almost circular, the circle. You were cast out of the inner circle for something. And once and look, the backs are turned for this too. Confirmation. There's a whole group of people that turn their backs on you, treating you like some kind of outcast. You demand. You were cast out of the inner circle. Yeah. There's a lot of gossip about you. There's a lot. They were painting you to be this horrid, lackluster, colorless person. I am somebody who's of low consciousness, someone who's has poor blood circulation, someone whose heart is not in the right place, someone who has no purpose. And it's funny because it's not under the sun and there's no color in this. So there's something about you that made them turn their backs on you. I feel, yeah, you may have felt, like I said, you were like, what the hell?
Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson! Hey, Mr. Johnson! My old biology teacher is here. Hey, Mr. Johnson. He's definitely passed on since high school. Oh, Mr. Johnson. Something about a teacher. There could be someone who's a teacher in this dynamic. But you saw something that you couldn't put your finger on, I feel. Something that disrupted your security, that disrupted your emotions. You may have been in your very feminine energy to comprehend something was wrong here. But you couldn't put your finger on it. There's something you couldn't put your finger on. And that it may have been leading you to feel violate. Yeah, someone may have violated your emotions, your security. They cast you out for, I don't know yet. I don't know why yet. Oh, because they thought that you were some kind of promiscuous person, that you were some kind of hussy, that you are on the pill bottle, that you take pills. that you lure students in with bribes, that you're an infernal finisher, that you have many lovers. They thought that you're like some kind of, I don't know. They didn't think that you were an intellectual. They thought that you were somebody that was very promiscuous. Some kind of Jezebel energy. Yeah.
Malicious.
Yeah, I can't make it up. They thought you were very malicious, very sexual, that you're ruled by your sensuality. And look at you, you're over here in King Arthur energy with morality and values, and you're some kind of kind giant, a kind dragon, a gentle giant. Okay. Why did they believe this? That's why they turned their back on you? Oh, some kind of secret. Some kind of illusion. Someone acted out of some kind of aggression or took some kind of action based on an illusion, based on some kind of secret. I can't make it up. That you were a lesbian, possibly? That you were some kind of living a double life? That you're really a lesbian? I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just like I can see your energy is clearly like King Arthur. You're royalty. You could rule a kingdom. You could be president. How honest you are and how moral you are. Yeah, and Spirit said you felt so alone because here you are and being honorable and being moral, and people are turning their backs on you as if you did something wrong. 222 on the clock. So you're like, what the hell is going on? It really puts you in your feelings. Absolutely. Yeah, it puts you in your feelings. You were like, damn. But it was like, because it wasn't, there's something that wasn't brought to you. It's something that this, whatever these people were thinking about you, and I don't know why they think this. I really don't know why. They definitely turned their backs on you. I don't know why they were thinking this, but this is something that these people do quite often, because I have this harp here in front of the triangle on the top level. These are people that have a caste system. They have a tiering where they cast judgment on you and then place you in the place that they deem, good for you. And so there's I don't know how it came to be. Something may have been brought to them, to their attention about you that may have been false. And so because you were restricted by them.
He took my life.
He took my life. Oh, because you were restricted by them and they were, they were basically walking away from you. They were, they're on the lower level. You're up high looking from a higher perspective. Like, what the hell did I do to these people? Why are they treating me like this? Why do I feel cast out? It was because they cast some kind of judgment on you. Okay? But you didn't say anything. You have wisdom. You have discipline and structure. And you just poured into yourself. You were like, well, what can I do? I can't put my finger on it, so I can't really say anything. And they're not saying anything. They're just acting weird. So I'm just mirrors. So I'm just going to be on my own. I'm just going to do my own thing. You don't want to include me in your stuff. That's okay. You were like, I don't need you to be able to make myself happy anyway. And so it was not a problem for you when they turned their backs on you. Don't count the days, make the days count. I evolve. I can't make it up. You're like, well, if, this is sudden and this is unexpected, but, what am I going to do? Cry about it? No, I'm just going to continue life and let it unfold. be in my own lane, and if they ever want to talk about what's going on, then I'll be here. So you just evolved yourself. Okay? Excellent. Yeah, you're like, well, bye. Like, whatever. Whatever. I came, I saw I had anxiety, I left. Yeah. You're somebody who's in touch with your emotions. You have a lot of emotional intelligence. You're a gentle giant. You may have gone through a great deal of, trauma to get you to this place where you can recognize that when things make you feel bad emotionally, you don't have to, you're no victim. Yeah, you're no victim. These people may have thought you were a victim or wanted to make you a victim of something. But you were following your emotions. You're like, well, I don't feel good when I'm around these people. So if they want to turn their backs on me, I'm not going to chase their acceptance. I'm not going to chase them. I'm not going to go out of my way to like appease them if they want to isolate me and purposely direct anxiety to me to make me feel victimized. I'm not biting. That's an illusion. That's a dream. If you're not like that. If they're treating you like that, that means they're like that. But you're spiritual. You may even have psychic abilities. You have the ability to know people's emotions. So people are trying to project anxiety towards you, and you're like, what the heck? You're identifying it as something that's off about them, but you can't really like put your finger on it. But you have a knowing. You know that something's off. Okay. I scored high on my drug test for I Empower. These people thought you were some kind of lesbian Jezebel drug addict. Yeah, they were obsessed with bringing this underworld to you. They wanted to bring a death to your empowerment because you weren't reacting the way they wanted you to react to their isolation of you. By them turning their back on you, they thought that you would go and chase them and that you would be suffering and you would be like, oh, why aren't you paying attention to me? What did I do? And blah, blah, blah. But because you literally did nothing, why would you chase that? Why would you chase that from someone when you aren't seeking their validation? It's like, you didn't do anything wrong. But in their perspective, you are this gross, drug-addicted, lesbian, gay person. And there's nothing wrong with being gay or lesbian, but it's, they're believing a false narrative about you, that you're some kind of Jezebel energy that's really unstable, that's prone to conflict, that's not a team player, some kind of double life energy. And you're over here like, like, oh, I don't, because you don't know that you don't know that they think this about you. I don't know why they think this about you yet, but you're a diamond in the rough. And there's something here where Spirit needed to protect that you're the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, that you're the blessing, that you're King Arthur. What was King Arthur's wife's name? It was like Guinevere. I think it was Guinevere. Yeah. So they turned their back on you. They may have had like family get-togethers without you, and they may have, helped other family members but not helped you. They treated you like a monster. It's really sad, actually. Okay. All right, what else? Let's do agitated. Let's do an imagine if. What happened here? What's going on? There is a tale in classic mythology of a sphinx, a winged monster, a winged monster that is part woman and part lion, who asked difficult riddles to travelers passing by. Those who did not answer the riddle correctly, she killed. This is the riddle the Sphinx asked the travelers. What animal walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs during the day, and 3 legs in the evening? The animal is man. Morning, day, and night are representative of the stages of life. 4 legs symbolizes a baby crawling, 2 legs the walking stage, and finally 3 legs symbolizes old age when a cane is needed to walk.
Little girl.
Little girl.
Impose.
Impose. Someone told a tale about you that was mythological. They painted you out to be a winged monster that was part woman, part monster. Nobody questioned the riddle that this passerby, it says passerby, so it could have been somebody that was temporarily living with you, or revenge, someone who wanted revenge on you. People didn't ask difficult questions to figure this riddle out. They just took it at face value because I don't know why. Something about whatever they were saying about you was a myth, and it was not, the riddle wasn't answered correctly. So something died, or something is dying, or something's going to be killed, metaphorically, because someone placed a riddle on you that nobody could figure out, or nobody figured out correctly. Nobody was making argue. Yeah, there's some kind of argument happening now, because this riddle about you that's been presented to people that they thought they had right was wrong. It was completely wrong. It was some kind of illusion. And on top of I act, Mars energy, some kind of aggression, conflict, and Spirit said revenge. Someone wanted to impose a truth about you that was a riddle, that was not real, it was mythological. Okay? Skeletons. Oh, okay. I just read the first sentence. This is a well-known story, and Spirit said skeletons. This is a well-known story that's famous for these people who are very masculine, logic-based, left thinkers that aren't in their emotions. They don't have emotional intelligence. They are known for doing this to people, for casting people out based on, unsubstantiated mythological riddles about people. They're quick to cast people out because of their casting system. Because they're very immature, elementary school. They're very immature. This could be a whole family. Witness. This could be a whole family. Because I have a lot of people here And I have three people. I have the three little pigs here. So this is some kind of family dynamic or friend group or work group, something like that. A group of people though. 1, 2, 3, 4 could be significant. 100. They're very immature for mathematically, logically equating that this is the answer, that this is how we solve this problem. It was very immature of them because they didn't manage, you know, thank you, Spirit, managed to do it in his head. These are people that aren't in touch with their emotions, but yet they're very immature. And so when it comes to emotional problems that elicit emotional reactions, they're using their emotions. They're very logical people in other ways, but when it comes to their emotions, they're very immature. So they act out of their emotions instead of sitting down logically about emotional issues and deducing the emotions logically. They don't do that. When it comes to things that spark emotional reactivity, they run on that and then don't see how that's illogical to make assumptions based on no facts, to just run with, information that hasn't been substantiated. So that's not logical to do. You don't do that in a court of law. You don't do that when you're doing a case for a crime. You don't, you have to have empirical evidence to show that you're casting this person out based on factual evidence. And for as logical as these people are, they're very judgmental and they have a lot of skeletons in their own closet. And it's usually the people with the most skeletons that are ready to cast the highest judgments on people. And that's what happened here. Okay, so 55 could be relevant. They thought that by adding up the numbers that they would add 2 and 2 together and amplify the sequence, and that was the solution to bring something to an end. So basically,
my name is Francis.
So basically, using this information to cast someone out and to purposely, maliciously treat them badly, even though they have their own skeletons in their closet. So it's like isolating someone who's reflecting their own skeletons and they don't even realize that that's what's happening. and they think that that's, it kind of reminds me of the Fockers. What was that movie called? I forget what that movie's called, but the Fockers, they had the circle, and the father was judging Ben Stiller.
I can tell you more.
Because he was a nurse and he didn't fit the criteria that they thought he should be for their daughter, and so they judged him, and he would treat him badly because he wasn't, like the ex-boyfriend or whatever, and he wasn't in the inner circle, and here's Ben trying to do all these things to make him be accepted by these people, and nothing he does is ever good enough. And so that's just illogical. You can't treat people that way. Confirmation. You can't cast people out based on your own assumptions about them, and you don't even have evidence that it's true. Can't do that. No. So you're some kind of diamond in the rough and some kind of Cinderella energy. Okay. So why did they do this? Why did they make these assumptions about you? Because you get a lot of praise and recognition. Because you challenge tradition and you have an unconventional
Archibald.
Lifestyle, Archibald, you might have different spiritual beliefs. You're in the spotlight. People talk very highly of you. You could be a celebrity. You could be getting fame, or that's how they see you. You just have a golden energy about you. You're Excalibur, you're King Arthur energy. You know, you just are, you have godfidence, you have kindness, and people take that as, you know, that can really irritate people sometimes.
You should dig here.
You should dig here. Okay. So what does it matter that you have recognition and that people like you? Like, who cares? Why does that make you a Jezebel? Why does that make you a gay? Coercion, powerlessness, lack of direction, lack of self-control. Cancer energy. It says forcefulness. It never ceases to amaze me, honestly, never. Like, as many times as we read it, and I'll read it as many times as is needed, because everyone's going through different levels or stages of, you know, these dynamics. So I'm happy for it to come out, and it usually always has to do with the 7 sins, you know, because somebody is in a place where they're unhappy, okay, and for whatever reason, they wanted revenge on
I'm
you.
not playing.
And so they went to your people with some kind of
Watching you all.
false narrative to make you look like some kind of hussy, like this, like just real nasty, promiscuous, because they're unhappy. And you're Excalibur. You're King Arthur. You exude morality. You get attention without even trying. You don't even try, you get attention. 7-7. You're very lucky. Things come to you very easy. It's because you're in alignment with with divinity, or you're very spiritual, or you just are really good at being peaceful. You know, finding peace. You don't spread gossip. You don't involve yourself in gossip circles. But someone's very narrow-minded, and they don't pause to reflect or assess their emotions. They're not emotionally intelligent. Okay? What are some things that are in their closet? What makes them so perfect? You know, what's in their closet? What are the skeletons that they have? Let's see.
Ground.
Pretending. Exaggeration. A mask. Love that lasts. Yeah, they're in a relationship, or our relationships never last for them. Right place, right time in reverse. They're not in alignment. Repetitive cycle, sick and tired. This is just somebody that you irritated their demons. That is all this is. That's all this is. Your existence makes them sick and tired. What's the revenge they wanted on you? Why did they want, why were they seeking revenge?
My name is Michael.
Mistakes in reverse. Spirit said, my name is Michael. Mistakes in reverse. In the past, there's something that was misunderstood. Someone was a lost soul. You may have had to go no contact with this person, or they may have given you the silent treatment. They may have went no contact with you or turned their back on you. Why do they do this? Why do they do this? There's something that they misunderstood. Something that they were disagreeing on. Hopelessness, sinking, despair, falling apart. Remove. Yeah, remove, and I have no contact here. They may have wanted to remove you because your presence as King Arthur energy, your values, your morality, your growth, your evolution, your empowerment, it really was, they didn't like the reflection of themselves in you. I mean, they didn't like what you were reflecting back to them. There's something about them. What is this? They were being a pirate.
I'm learning to use this.
They were being a pirate. They were like a fish out of water around you. They were spilling the tea about you, spreading false narratives, because they wanted people to feel bad for them. They were starting fires and then forgetting the fires they started, and forgetting the things they said about you. They were overindulging, and they cast themselves out to sea without a paddle. And so they were trying to control the situation by hiding their indulgences, because you were reflecting back that they were imbalanced, because you're not imbalanced. And so you're the sunflower. You're the one who is ringing the bell. You're the one who is balanced.
Watch out witchcraft.
Watch out witchcraft. And that could just mean them telling lies about you. Spirit said car. And so the more they were around you, the more they felt like they were falling apart and like they were hopeless, because they didn't want their family to see them fucking up. They didn't want them to see them messing up. And so they deflected the attention off of them and onto you, and exalted themselves above you, so that way you could be the scapegoat, because they were too ashamed or too proud to admit that they had no control over their indulgences. So they started setting little fires where they would, say, oh, they have anxiety all the time, or they're living a double life, or, they were, Spirit said revenge, so I'm not really sure why that needed to be revenge. But they're definitely wearing a mask and pretending to be something they're not, to hide that they were falling apart. Okay? They made you out to be the monster so they could look like King Arthur, so they could distract people. They may have had a wandering eye. Kept you waiting. They may have left you on red, just pulled away from you. Yeah. Because they were having a third-party hookup. They were cheating on you. And you didn't know. But because you were elevating yourself and you were evolving and you were getting better, and they're getting worse, they didn't want their family to know that the reason they cheated on you was because of their own insecurities, not because of anything you did. It was because of their own shit. but they didn't want their family to know that. They wanted their family to turn their back on you so that way, you wouldn't ever know that they were cheating on you, and their family wouldn't know that they were fucking up. In what ways were they fucking up? Besides cheating. Clock. Cycles. It takes time. Time to heal.
Hiding in the dark.
Hiding in the dark. Yeah. Addictions. Yeah. Broken mirrors. Turmoil. Triggers. You triggered them. You triggered something that they do a lot in relationships. This is somebody that doesn't get their... People don't call them out on their shit. Or they just don't take responsibility. Either way, this is somebody who was very sneaky, dishonest. They like to make themselves look like they have it all under control. Like they have, everything's all right over here. We don't have addictions. We don't have secrets. We're not doing anything wrong. It's them. They're the ones who are overly emotional. I don't understand them. They're the ones pulling away from me. They're the ones. And the family took it at face value. The family said, oh my gosh, this person is horrible. They have addictions, and they're the ones with the addictions. You're the one who overcame your addictions. You're the one who decided, well, if this person doesn't want to be around me, then I just got to manifest my own abundance. I'll have to just be on my own. Because this person had too much pride. So you said, bye. Bye. I'm not going to get treated this way. You don't want to be around me. You don't see my value. Peace out. Peace out, bro. I don't need your validation to stick around. I'm here because I want to be here. I'm not here because I need you. I'm here because I thought we were doing a thing where we have this common ground. But what it really was that you were elevating and they were stuck in a cycle. They didn't know how to climb, they didn't know how to stop the cycle they were in of addiction and secrets and third parties, and you're over here, not needing them, not chasing them, not asking them what's wrong, because you really just didn't know. Like, you're coming from a place where they're very stubborn and they lack empathy and they're inflexible. So you're not, so you're like, I got to get out of here because I'm not going to keep begging you and I'm not going to keep trying to help you see the dysfunction here if you're not going to take responsibility. You can only lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink the water. And if you want to make me the scapegoat, like I'm the bad guy and you're the one fucking up, then I'm not going to stick around and see what happens. This person was just going to let you fall all the way down because they were creating a lot of noise and distractions to hide the fact that they were hiding information and being very dishonest and sneaky. Bottom line. You may be a tarot reader. There may be some kind of third party here that was positive that's stalking you on social media, that drives by your house, that gets tarot readings on you. That could be the person that started these rumors, or that thought this would be a good idea to make you look like some kind of sexual deviant lesbian.
Nurse.
Could be a nurse, someone who's a nurse. Dating. Yeah, they may have said that you're dating other people when really it was them. They pulled away from you because they wanted to break the mirror that you were reflecting back to them. They weren't ready to be at your boss level. They weren't ready to be a boss They were happy being in the same cycles. And so instead of taking responsibility that they weren't ready to, you were calling them out on their bullshit and they didn't like that, they decided to date other people because that was easier than to actually step up and say, you know, you're right. I'm fucking up. What are some other skeletons in their closet? Yeah, just cheating, you know, talking to other people, DMs, third parties. They're ungrounded, they're not stable. Your mom catches you masturbating. I don't like where that's going. What are some other closeted skeletons? Sex with the oldest person you know?
Devastation.
Devastation. Teenage daughter is pregnant. This person could have gotten someone pregnant who's underage. Their mother may have had to hide it. They may have had promiscuous sex with an elderly person. Perhaps your mother. There's a lot of things they did in their emotions. And in their addictions as well. Okay, a lot of things that they're not proud of. Leonard. Stung by a jellyfish. Yeah, but they got stung because they were acting like an immature child. They had addictions. They were running away from you because you're their mirror, and they couldn't stand that you were empowering yourself and that you didn't need them. On hold with fucking cable company for 2 fucking hours. Yeah. So everything was going wrong for them, you know? Anything was going wrong for them because of the way they were treating you. Oh, that's why you were hidden in plain sight. That's why Spirit hid that you were a blessing, because there's something about this person. They do this to every person. Food. They could be overeating. They could be having technical issues, trouble at work, trouble at, you know, with their car, trouble with their bills, trouble with a lot of things. Because instead of just taking accountability that they didn't have it all together with their family and that they decided to cheat on you, they had to make it your fault that they cheated on you. Okay? And then when they made it your fault and they got the emotional reactions out of their family that they wanted, their whole family cast you out of their inner circle because this person made you out to be some horrible, double life, promiscuous person that's addicted to drugs, but that was them. Mm-hmm.
Nurse.
Nurse again. Spirit said nurse twice. So why did Spirit hide you? Why did Spirit hide you? I think it's because they do this to a lot of people, this family and this person. They're very quick to, you know, cast blame on other people instead of taking accountability. And then they, yeah, loss. Yeah. Trauma, mourning, heartbreak. Focusing on negative emotions. Regret. Yeah, they abandoned you for no reason. Because of this person. This person fucks up all the time. Tell me about sex with the oldest person you know. What's that about? Yeah, escapism. Just, you know, when you're in addiction and you're and you're trying to escape, and they basically wanted revenge on you because they took your growth and your evolution as a slap in the face. They thought, from their immature mind frame and perspective, that you were trying to have a competition with them, that you were trying to make them feel bad about how they couldn't pull themselves out of their addiction, but you did. And so they took that very personally and set out on a mission in their immaturity to make you look like the problem. But really, it was them. And it was only because they took your growth as a personal vendetta against them, like you were purposely trying to hurt them and show them that they're not capable of healing. But that was never what you were trying to do. In fact, right here it says that you were trying to help them, that you were trying to have them see, but because they're so stubborn and they lacked empathy, every time you would try to bring the truth to them, they would hurt you, or they'd cast you out, or they would do something that was really upsetting and tried to, gaslight you and make it like it's your fault that you're speaking the truth about them, because they didn't want to hear the truth, because the truth would make them have to realize that they're a fuck up. Okay? Tell me about this third party.
Cupboard.
Tell me about this third party. They could have possibly had sex with your mom and with a minor. They might not have known this person was a minor, but they might have got them pregnant. Yeah, because they were in despair. They were focusing on the negative. They were lacking creativity and inspiration because they were in addiction, and they were being... Tell me about this sneaky, secretive, hiding information. They went to somebody that was going to accept them. Yeah, they were discontent. They were impulsive. They went to somebody who was going to accept the bullshit that they were in. That didn't mind that they were a fuck up. That would allow them to not be better. That just accepted them where they're at. And you're not somebody like that. You're somebody that said, either you step up to the plate or I'm out of here. Deuces. If you don't want to get your shit together, I'm not going to stick around and find out. And they took that so personally. How do they feel now about this? How do they feel now? Oh, they're disappointed. They're looking deeper. Self-discovery.
Wyatt.
Yeah, looking for the truth. They may have walked away from this third party. Hospital. They may have had to walk away from this third party. They reached their limit of escapism. It brought them to a place of introspection. That might have been why Spirit had to hide you in plain sight. This is something this person needed on a higher level in order to get them over this hurdle. This is a cycle that's repetitive, that happens all the time. And you're the catalyst for change. So you had to be hidden, your true value, in order for them to devalue you, for them to walk away from you, for them to be inflexible and not see you for who you truly are. Okay? But there is a third party here. Yeah, childhood issues, sexual abuse.
Don't be nervous.
This person may suffer from sexual abuse, or that might be sex with the oldest person you know. They may have been abused by someone in their family. Welcome to the club, bro. Welcome to the club. Oh. Oh, generosity. Aww. Being valued. Oh, but somebody sees your value now. Somebody sees who you are now. This group of people sees how generous
Suspect.
this somebody now sees your value. How generous you are. How much control you have. That you're somebody that people should invest in. You're a good employee. You're a gift. You give to charity. You support people. You give gratitude. You walk in gratuity. You could be the king of swords that fell out at the beginning. You're the sword of truth. King Arthur energy. I'm telling you. This was I'm getting Hydra energy. There's something about you having to cut multiple heads off of the Hydra in succession. Like there's some kind of battle that happened here. Spirit said witchcraft before. Yeah, there's a bunch of unhappy people here that are recognizing how quick they were, Cancer energy, to jump on the bandwagon of hate against you. This is something that you were hidden from this group of people on purpose, because this group of people does this quite often. And I guess it was just time. Finding mental strength, awakening, rejoining the world. I was a warrior. You're a warrior, boo! You cut the heads off the Hydra. This family needed you to be hidden. So when the truth came out, it punched them in the face, and there's no way that they could ever see anything else. And they could know that they have jumped to conclusions based off of false information that they created. They created this Hydra, this 7-headed monster that's so quick to judge people when these people have skeletons in their closet. You know, someone could have got a minor pregnant. Someone has had sex with someone's elderly mother. You know, like these people are not without sin. Okay? Massive zit on nose. Yeah, they have things that remain to be seen that need to be purged. Bitten by the bat. You know, energy vampires that feed off of negative emotion and perpetuate negative emotion because bird shits on head. Because they're shitheads. Because they can be real jerks sometimes. And they can be real judgmental. And they think that they're better than everyone when they're the ones who have lots of things going on. And balding, you know, they have insecurities. There's a lot of ways they devalue people. Sprayed by skunk. They have smelly spirits, smelly souls. They have love affairs. They've had STDs. You know, there's these people. What does Yeshua say? Let he who has not sinned cast the first stone. That's this. This is something that God set up in such a way where the gift was hidden, the gentle giant. And God said, I have a mission for you. And you're like looking up like, okay, you know.
Stand your ground.
Yeah, you had to stand your ground. You had to show these people that you're not who this person said you were. And what this showed them is that they're the ones who can't be trusted. They're the ones who are imbalanced and in disharmony. They're the ones who lack accountability and who are in disconnection with spirit, with God. They're not acting in a godly manner. So this was definitely something that had to happen, and that's why you were hidden. But you stood your ground. You didn't say anything. You never reacted to their emotional games they were playing. You never, because people normally do. And these people there are some people that they have driven to insanity and to acting in low emotions because of the way that they cast people out. Their casting system. Okay? unclog toilet with your bare hands. Yeah, they have dirty hands. They can be really shitty sometimes. But you were their tower in the past. It's it was something that was inevitable. They were just avoiding the inevitable. But now it's time to pick up the pieces, and there's a new cycle that's beginning. There was a disruption, and they may be receiving karma at this time because they need to release the pain. And but there is forgiveness here. The worst is over.
I passed peacefully.
So this is definitely something that is in peace now. This is something where there may have been a talk, or tell me about, because I have inner peace, closure. There may have been a discussion that was had. Maybe that was the conversation that happened, or that's going to happen. It's going to bring in forgiveness and peaceful vibes. I can't make it up. This situation, no more drama, calm mind, soul alignment. Oh, that's beautiful. There is still I got this card again. There is still a third party that was part of this dynamic, that stalks you, that gets readings about you, that possibly drives by your house, because you have a soul contract. You know, this person, I don't know who this person is to you. It feels kind of like a relationship, but it doesn't have to be. It could be any relationship. But this person, you both were going through a hard time, and one of you elevated, and you tried to help the person that wasn't elevating with you, but they didn't see it that way. They saw it as a slap in the face. They thought you were trying to rub it in, and because they were in such a state of despair and self-sabotage, and they were unable to allow themselves to be looked at in the energy they were in by their family, they allowed you to take the fall and made you out, and this third party in them made you out to be somebody you're not. And this family cast you out, but you stood your ground. You didn't react how other people normally react when they do this to people. And it brought a revelation to them that they are the ones, that it's them. And it makes them feel really bad. It made them feel really bad about themselves. But this is a spiritual union. It's a karmic agreement that was made in the ethers. And that's why you were hidden in plain sight. That you never changed. You were always kind-hearted, a gentle giant, here to bring peace. You were valued. Yeah. That you were meant to be given the cold shoulder to and ignored, so you could go into your own isolation and work on yourself. It was a double-edged sword. Swords again. Swords are a big theme in this reading, but you needed the isolation because you were giving yourself too much to this dynamic. You were giving yourself too much away because you had empathy for this person. You didn't want to see them suffer. You came out of your addictions and you were coming into alignment, and you really wanted that for this person. You were really excited to have this person be where you just got yourself, and you were trying really hard to pour into them, but as much as you pour into somebody, if they're not ready to do it and they're not at a place where they can accept that they need help, there's nothing you can do or say that's going to change them. They have to do it on their own. And so God needed it to get escalated to this level to where you would walk away, where it was the last straw, because you're somebody who you'll keep getting pounded and pounded and pounded because you care, because you can take it, because you've been through a lot. And when you love somebody, you want them to do good, even if they're being jerks. You try and you try and you try. And so God knew that about you. So he hid you in plain sight. So when it finally came time for you, when you finally had enough, brazen bull, when you finally had enough of that brazen bull who kept attacking you energetically and emotionally, you would isolate yourself, and God needed you to go into that isolation so you could pour into yourself, because you've been pouring into this person who is taking your energy to somebody else, because it was easier over there to be the reckless, addicted person they were. And you weren't fazed by that. When you cut them off, when you gave them the cold shoulder, they felt it. And you had never done that before. You were always available. You were always kind. You were always trying to pick their pieces up and put them back together again. But Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall for the last time, and you turned your back on them. And they felt that shit. They realized that you're not here because you need them. You're here because you wanted to be here. And you're not over here chasing their love and their adoration, or lowering your standards to fit their needs. If you don't step up to the plate, I'm out of here. I'm not going to put up with your shit anymore. I don't care about all the people in your family. I don't care about I will leave this place with nothing but the shirt on my back and start over again, and I don't give a shit about it. And they were like, damn. They were like, no, that, they were like, that is not what I wanted. Okay, so this whole dynamic is what catapulted them. All of these people, this was a very big mission. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to 12 people. Okay, this was a big mission. This was a paradigm shift. This was a consciousness elevator for you to anchor in a new level of consciousness for this family that you're in. Okay, so you caused a tower, but the tower is in the past. It's over. A conversation was had. Miscommunications were communicated properly, and everybody has come into agreement that you're high value. You're not everything that this person said you were, and all is forgiven. You forgave them, and so if you can find a way to forgive them, they know that forgiveness must be real and love must be real, because the way you made them feel about themselves for having done this to you without any evidence, and that someone in their own family actually perpetuated the nonsense, makes them feel on purpose, makes them feel really foolish, really stupid. Really stupid. and they had egg on their face. They felt that shit. They got caught feeling foolish. Everything backfired. Yeah, they really did a number on you. They were trying to make you feel bad about yourself, so you would come crawling back. And they wanted you to be like, why are you doing this to me? Why don't you love me? What did I do to you? Please, I'll do anything. But that is not, you're no victim. You're nobody's victim. But, this led to to this person realizing your value, that you are abundant, that the whole time they had an illusion about you. They were just in their feelings, and they were just taking your growth really personal, and they thought that you were attacking them, because they were insecure about your growth. Okay, but this was necessary for you guys to grow together. This is a soul contract, so everything's all good now.
The bad lady's here.
I was just gonna say, what's going on with this third party? And Spirit said the bad lady's here. This person was a third party, and they were, unfortunately, they may have been used to satiate a certain desire of the moment, but they were never going to be a permanent fixture. They were just a means to an end. And there's something about that this person can't accept. And they did a lot of, they could have possibly even did witchcraft. Yeah, black magic, as I split the deck. They did black magic, possibly on this person, to make them believe that you're not someone that you should pour into or invest in, because they're very toxic. And so they're sketchy, they play games, they're ashamed, they're remorseful, and they're thinking of you. They miss you. They don't know how to fix things. I don't know if this is a friend of yours or something. They hate that you get attention. They hate your protection. They hate that you are organized and can plan ahead. This is somebody jealous of you. They went to somebody who's jealous of you. And they left this person behind because they never wanted to be done with you to begin with. They never wanted it to end with you to begin with. They were just stuck in a rut where you reflected where they were fucking up, and they got mad at that they couldn't be at your level. Okay. All right. I'm starving. I'm so hungry. I must go eat. I love you guys so much. The worst is over. New pathway is unfolding. This is a new, this person has come out of addiction. This person is in a calm, no more drama. You guys are in soul alignment. The snake is being cast out. The snake's being cast out. The devil, they're probably on mushrooms. They're looking on at you on the beach like a unicorn. They shouldn't have done all that. They shouldn't have done all that. They're watching you like this. Like a troll. Watching you be happy. Okay. Let them watch. Give them a show while you're at it. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. I'll see you this weekend. We're reading Shakespeare and Carrie Fisher. Tell Spirit I'm sorry I bring the clouds. Vince, you don't bring the clouds. Actually, when you come, I get real happy. Vince, are you feeling clouded? Do you need me to pull a card for you? If you give me permission, I would be happy to do that for you. I don't want to do it without your permission, though. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. There's this like kitchen witch making necro. Oh, necro. Well, that's for another time. Well, I don't want to pull a card for you, Vince, without your permission, but I gotta go. I'm too hungry. I love you guys so much. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.